Hello guys, welcome to the course of TCP/IP. Now, today we are going to discuss with the TCP flow control. Before this video, what we have discussed about the TCP connections. In that, we have discussed three phases: connection establishment, then data transfer, and then connection termination. So today we are going to discuss with the flow control. Once the connection has been established, we are eligible to transfer data, but only with the connections we are not eligible to transfer data. So we have to consider some of the parameters, and that parameters of what if the data transmission takes place from the source to destination, then some situation can be happen, and that situation is what the flow, and that flow can be transferred. The that flow to be controlled with some mechanism, that is what the flow control. Now definition of the flow control, guys: whenever an entity produce an item and another entity consume them, then there should be a balance between the production and consumption rate. The meaning of this particular definition, guys, so there is a one entity, and that entity is what the producer. Entity number is what? One producer. And second entity is what? The consumer. So if I say, let's say, sender and the receiver. The sender, let's say, producer, and receiver, let's say, consumer. So if this both the entity, the producer and consumer, what is the role of this producer and consumer? Producer always produce an item. It means what? He or she, or let's say mechanism, can send some data to the receiver, and receiver can receive that data. It means what? They consume the data, that consume that items. What happens if the both the processes at both the computers are of the same rate, speed, mechanism? It is good. But if both the processes are in a so let's say 60/40, 70/30, the imbalancing ratio, that time it is going to be create a problem, because if the sending process is faster and the receiver process is slower, it means what? So whatever the data is produced by the sender, it is not going to be consumed at the consumer side at that same time. And if the consumer is faster and producer is slower, so it means what? We producer is producing items in a very small rate, and consumer is in high rate. So consumer maximum time get idle. Okay. So this kind of situation can be happen. In order to balance this situation, what we have a flow control. What we have a flow control. So what happened with this flow control, guys? If the receiver is overloaded with the too much data, let's say receiver is overloaded with the too much data, what the consumer is what the slower speed, then receiver discard the packets. So packet discarding is going to be there, packet loss is going to be there, and asking for the retransmission of the packet. So once the congestion occurs, the packets are discarded. Once the discarded packets lost, then it is going to be again asking for the retransmission. This can increase the network congestion and thus reducing the system performance. This affects a lot. So flow control is used to prevent the sender from overwhelming the receiver. So sender must understand the language, must understand the situation of the receiver, so that sender can adjust their load as according to the receiver, because receiver is the main entity. Okay, that, and this delivery, and this can be happen, and this can be achieved via two mechanisms. That's delivery of an item from the producer to consumer can occur in one of the two ways. Very first will be the pushing, and second will be the pulling. So let's understand the pushing and pulling, guys. The pushing is what? If the sender delivers an item whenever they are produced without the prior request from the consumer, the delivery is referred to as pushing. I am focusing on the without the prior request from the consumer. It means what? There is no consent of the consumer. Whenever the producer produce an item, the producer imposefully or forcefully sending the items to the consumer. It is not considering any request from the consumer that it has required or it has not required. So this is what the pulling, forcefully. And second is pushing. This is what, sorry, this is what the pushing. And second is what? The pulling. If the producer delivered an item after the consumer has requested them, the delivery is referred to as the pulling. So this is what the normal situation. As and when there is a requirement, guys, that time it is going to be sent. So this situation is going to be normal. The pulling is what normal, but pushing is what imposed. So here, after discussing this, we have to discuss the proper definition of the flow control, guys. What happened with the flow control? Consider the diagram. In a diagram, there is what a sender and there is what a receiver. Okay, and this diagram is taken from the Frozen books. It's not my creation. It is adopted from the books. Thanks for that Frozen books. Then here, there are some lines are available. So black line is indicating the data flow and red light is indicating about the flow control feedback. So what happened in the flow control, guys? Flow control balance the rate a producer creates data with the rate a consumer can use the data. So that we have discussed already. And this figure shows the unidirectional data transfer between the sender and the receiver. So as I told you, there is a sender and there is a receiver. And the sender, let's say there is application layer, any software, any our users are working on that particular layer, any software they are using, any utility they are using. Now here, that is called as a sender. A figure shows that the data travel from the sending process down to the sending TCP. Sending process is which one? This one is a sending process, guys. These messages are pulled only because the receiver have requested. So the sending process down to the sending TCP. Now sending TCP is what? A transport layer. There is also a consumer because after producing a data from the application layer, it is going to be going to go to the transport layer consumer. Okay, and from the sending TCP to the receiving TCP, and from the sending TCP to the receiver TCP, and from this receiver TCP to the and from the receiving TCP up to the receiving process. It means what? From this. So this is going to be happen. And what the steps are involved? The sending TCP, that sending process, sorry, sending process to the sending TCP, from sending TCP to the receiving TCP, from receiving TCP to the receiving process. This can be happen, and this is what the first step. The step number 1, step number 2, and step number 3 involved. Then the second one, the flow control feedback. The flow control feedback that the receiver process has received that, and the receiver TCP has received that. It means what? However, the traveling from flow control feedback, however, the traveling from the receiving TCP to the sending TCP. It means what? From this to this only, not from this receiving process. This is what the process. This is what the process. And this flow control feedback is only receiving TCP to the sending TCP, and from sending TCP up to the sending process. That from this process to this, because who has produced this? This process has produced. So ultimately, this is what the sender, this is what the producer. They must be intimated that whatever the flow is over with the receiving TCP, that need to be informed to the sender. That is part number 4 and part number 5. This is what the flow control feedback. Then most of the implementation of the TCP do not provide the flow control feedback from the receiving process to the receiving TCP. From the receiving process is what? This one. And from this one to this one, the feedback is not available maximum time, because most of the implementation not allowing for the flow control feedback. Okay, it is only a feedback is what? A direct final acknowledgement is that process to receiving TCP. They let the receiver process pull data from the receiving TCP whenever it is ready to do. So this is what very important, right? So most of the implementation is not supporting for the flow control feedback, but they let the receiving process pull the data from the receiving TCP whenever whenever it is ready to do so. So this is what the second step. Then go to the next step. It means what? It is in simple word. The receiving TCP, simple word, receiving TCP controls the sending TCP. So this receiving TCP control the sending TCP, guys, and the sending TCP control the sending process. This one. So ultimately, the sender has informed. Okay. Then what happened? The flow control feedback. The flow control feedback from the sending TCP to the sending process. The path number 5. Path number 5. Flow control feedback is achieved through the simple rejection of data by sending TCP when its window is full. It means what? When the sender is too much producing, sender is what the producer is producing too much, and if the sender TCP again, a sender window is what, let's say very full or it is out of bound, that time it is going to be a rejection kind of thing, that can you please slow down your rate? Can you please stop your rate of producing so that I can adjust my rate? So that I can adjust my rate to the myself and again for the receivers also. So it is what, when only it is windows full. And the last step is, guys, it means what, our discussion of the flow control concentrated on the feedback sent from the receiving TCP to the sending TCP. That is what the path 4. This is what the main parameter. On this parameter, that is flow control feedback, we are adjusting our load, we are adjusting our flow control, we are adjusting our flow to control that mechanism. So this is what the simple definition, guys. In this lecture, what we have discussed, only the flow control definition, how it occurs, and what kind of delivery mechanism, the pushing and the pulling, where the pushing is what imposed, pulling is what requested. So I hope that this is okay. After this video, what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss the type of windows, and then ultimately we will be discussing the silly window syndrome. So I hope it is okay, because flow control is very important in TC, because the without flow control mechanism, data cannot be balanced, data cannot be transferred, maximum packets can be discarded. Thank you. Thank you.